So we are in week 2 of Becca's Bookoplathon. The small town always covers up the most heinous crime. I just couldn't read anymore. There is just a lot of elements that come into this book. Hello, I'm Beth Joey and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, welcome. This is a channel where I paint my face, turn my camera on and talk about some books. So we are in week 2 of Becca's Bookoplathon. If you do not know what that is, it is a readathon lasting for the month of September, hosted by Becca over at Becca and the Books. This readathon is based on her own Bookopoly board, which is based on Monopoly, and it's a TBR game that she used to play every month and I think plays less frequently now, but anyway, that's beside the point. It's a super fun month-long readathon, which I am taking part in. I'll leave the announcement video and all the details down below so you can go and check that out. But as for what I'm doing in this video, I'm going to run you through the books that I read in the second week of Bookoplathon, namely The Broken Girls by Simone James and Gothikana by RuNyx. I would usually do these updates as vlogs, but I kind of decided it would be just a little bit simpler, just a little bit easier in my packed September schedule to do them as regular sort of reading updates. Hope that's okay. Let me know if you like this format down below. Anyway, into the first book, which was Gothikana by RuNyx. I actually DNF'd this book maybe 30 to 40 pages in because I just couldn't read anymore. The flip side to that is I don't really know what this book is about. I know it's going for sort of dark academia vibes. I know it's set in a school. It follows one girl by the name of Celeste. Nope, that's wrong. Her name is Kavina, and she is attending this school. She meets this guy who's very dark, very mysterious. There's definitely this big mystery darkness around the school. I'm just gonna read you the blurb. I'm not doing a very good job of explaining this. It says, an unusual girl, an enigmatic man, an ancient castle. What could go wrong? An outcast her entire life, Corvina Clem is left adrift after losing her mother. When she receives the admission letter from the mysterious University of Verenmore, she accepts it as a sign from the universe. The last thing she expects, though, is an olden, secluded castle on top of a mountain riddled with secrets, deceit, and death. An enigma his entire life, Vad Deverell, this is the dude, likes being a closed book, but knowing exactly everything that happens in the university. A part-time professor working on his thesis, Vad has been around long enough to know the dangers the castle possesses, and he knows the moment his paths cross with Corvina, she's dangerous to everything that he is. They shouldn't have caught each other's eye, they cannot be, but a chill-inducing century-old mystery forces them to collide. And I'm going to stop there. It's basically a forbidden romance between a sort of teacher and a student. There's definitely a sort of dark academia vibe, but I wasn't really getting that from this book. I think it is both dark and set in an academic setting, but I don't think it counts as dark academia. It doesn't have the mystery and the vibes and everything that I would sort of ascribe to things like the Atlas 6. I also thought that this book was very repetitive, and not in a cyclical way, in that it's actually part of the narrative style to be repetitive, to be going round and round in circles with the story. It just was repetitive. The same thing was happening over and over again, the same complication between these two characters, and I was just bored of it. I should have listened to Ashley over at A Frolic Through Fiction when she said she really didn't like this book. I just had general apathy towards the story. There was too much immaturity, too much teen angst, so I DNF'd it at like 30 to 40 pages in. I was not far in, but it definitely left an impression on me. Luckily, I had a bit more success with The Broken Girls by Simone James, which is a book I actually have to hand because I borrowed it from my library. So this book follows two separate timelines. Now, the first timeline is present day timeline. It follows a journalist by the name of Fiona Sheridan. And Fiona's family is infamous because her sister Deb was killed and her body was found at this mysterious school, boarding school back in the 1950s called Idlewild. Fiona's always had a lot of questions about her sister's disappearance, the school, everything to do with it, the big mystery. So she decides to write an article that follows the history of the school, and that's where the 1950s timeline comes in, where we meet 4 girls who attended the school back in that time and follow them beginning to bond over dark secrets that they each carry from their past. And as the final terrifying element, one of these 4 girls disappears, and Fiona finds out about this, and she decides to solve this mystery. There is just a lot of elements that come into this book, but I think they're all handled so well, so masterfully, that when you're reading it, you're able to separate everything and know what counts for what makes sense where. And I think that's partially helped by the fact that this story is told in multiple POVs. So you get the POV of each of the 4 girls at the school, and then you get Fiona's POV on top of that. So you're able to connect not only with those girls in the past, but with Fiona so deeply. The atmosphere of this story was obviously creepy and dark, set in this old boarding school kind of area, and this town, this small town with hidden secrets, as you would expect. It's a bit of a stereotype that small town always covers up the most heinous crime, but I was just so easily able to picture this small town like brought together and tied together by influence influential members, and then this boarding school for sort of unwanted or problematic girls. Unfortunately though, there is a moment towards the end of this story where I assume it's supposed to feel quite tense, but I just didn't feel that tenseness. I don't know why. I don't know if it was just something I kind of predicted. I love that Simone St. James doesn't like pretend away the paranormal stuff. It is there, it is prominent, it plays its own role, it's a character in itself, and it is so interesting. Overall, I really enjoyed this book so much. I gave it 4.5 stars after I put it through Pile. I'm so glad that I gave Simone St. James another chance with this one, and maybe I'll have to give another one of her books another chance so that I can finally decide if she's an author that I want to follow. So those are the 2 books that I read in the second week of Bookoplathon. Just so you know where I'm up to at the moment in the third week, I'm currently reading My Killer Vacation by Tessa Bailey. I'm having an okay time with it. I'm having some of the same issues that I've had in the past with other Tessa Bailey books, like It Happened One Summer and Hook, Line and Sinker. The characters act in this very weird, kind of completely out of the normal, completely strange way, and I'm struggling with that. I am enjoying that it's kind of fun and whimsy, and I'm enjoying like the smutty writing and everything like that, but the relationship between these 2 characters just feels really odd, and it's a really weird power dynamic. I'm about halfway through at the moment. We'll see how I feel towards the end of this book, but this is what I'm reading right now, and I will give you my full thoughts on it in week 3, so do come and check in on that when I put that up next week. Let me know if you guys are joining Bookoplathon, what you've read so far, if you're enjoying it, what you're feeling, how you're enjoying the readathon. Come and chat to me in the comments down below. I love to talk to you guys, and I do my best to reply to every single comment. I really hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please do let me know by liking, subscribing, and hitting that notification bell all down below. It is a super easy way to help my channel grow, and I will see you lovely people in my next video. Bye!